Hi everyone, Clara is here again. Welcome to Difference Frames the World, a permanently demonetized channel to see the world from a different angle. Before starting today's video, we apologize for not uploading videos in the past 2 weeks, as we have to spend more time on other projects to expand our source of income to pay the mortgage, car loans, utility, and other bills. Due to consecutive interest rate adjustments in Canada, we renewed our mortgage 2 days ago, and the monthly payment almost doubled compared to last year. Not only in Canada but worldwide, every person is affected by the Ukraine war, which pushed consumer and industrial prices upward. In previous videos, we discussed the Ukraine conflict and how it would affect the world. We have to say the war will not end shortly, and the whole world is suffering. All of us need to get prepared for a worse 2023 than 2022. Today we want to discuss China and the US, the most critical geopolitical uncertainty in the first half of the 21st century. We mentioned many times that by 2050, when the People's Republic of China celebrates its 100th anniversary, China will overtake the US militarily, technologically, economically, and even culturally. From now to 2030, however, the two countries will have the most challenging relations. They will quarrel about which country has the better political system. The US will continue to promote its freedom and democracy globally with all means, and China will never stop blaming America for its fake democracy and alleged freedom. In many videos, we criticized Western democracy for serving the purpose of a handful of elites, accounting for less than 1% of the Western country's population. We also analyzed why China's political system suits its development the best. As we predicted earlier, Chinese President Xi Jinping successfully secured his third term and put all his supporters beside him. No one could challenge his authority. It will not be surprising if he continues to rule China after his third or fourth term. There will be fewer voices about China's problems in the coming 5 or 10 years. In 2020 and 2021, Chinese Prime Minister Li Keqiang revealed China still had 600 million people leading a poor life, with a meager income of less than 1,000 RMB. The country may have a universal voice only, which is challenging. China regards its political system as centralized democracy, contrasting with Western nations' elections involving multiple parties. We cannot say which is better, but China is more likely to have more potent leaders than most Western countries. 66% of Americans surveyed do not want Joe Biden to run for the 2024 election, regarding him as the last option for the 47th U.S. president. For Chinese President Xi Jinping, however, it seems no Chinese says explicitly against his third or fourth term. Western media, particularly those in the US, constantly blame China for its opacity and label China as a dictatorship. They do not understand why there is only one candidate in a campaign with a predetermined victory. In America's midterm election, 2 Congress members, both dead, successfully won the re-election, but the Western media did not bother challenging their election system. Elections are games, and we do not believe democracy can make a country better if it is unfit for a country's actual situation. On the contrary, democracy means low efficiency. Take China as an example. It does not have the so-called democracy the West brags about, but no one can deny China's system makes it possible for the country to develop at an unprecedented speed in human history. Currently, China contributed to 38% of the world's economic growth, more than all Western countries. The United States contributes only 18% of global development, not even half of China's contribution. It is already too late for the US to stop China's advancement. We have often said that Beijing is believed to be the only one that poses threats to the US on all fronts, and it is a bipartisan consensus to block China's development in the United States. Even America's allies, like France, consider China a global threat. In many Westerners' eyes, China is either backward, like a third world country, or a highly developed economy better than the United States. They are both correct. China is a mixture of ice and fire. In China's remote provinces, mainly in the western part of the country, most residents' living standard is still deficient. On the other hand, many Chinese in the coastal areas can hardly pay the skyrocketing living costs. In the past 4 decades, China's GDP has multiplied dozens of times. The same is true with the price of necessities. During the lockdown, China has not given a penny to its citizens to ease their hardship, putting many Chinese families in a more challenging situation. All difficulties are hidden behind the country's prosperity, characterized by its pristine cities and picturesque rural areas. Many foreigners visiting China are shocked by the country's infrastructure, such as roads, bridges, subways, and high-speed rails. They cannot understand why China still calls itself a developing country. They believe it is more beautiful than most Western nations like the US, the UK, Germany, France, etc. Chinese cities like Shanghai and Guangzhou have the world's most skyscrapers, and even some Tier 2 or Tier 3 cities look more beautiful than the West's megacities like New York, London, Paris, Berlin, Toronto, and so on. Unlike in the West, one can hardly find homeless people on the streets, and there are no beggars in public areas. Even in the most stigmatized Xinjiang, where Western mainstream media keep exciting the so-called genocide of Uyghurs, people are much happier than most taxpayers in the West. The Xinjiang region has been safe from terrorist attacks for quite a long time. Pollution was a talking point when mentioning China, which is undoubtedly still one concern nowadays, but the situation has improved in recent years. In 2021, in China's cities with a population of over 1 million, the average air pollution measured by PM 2.5 has improved by more than 30% compared with 6 years ago, and the air quality in nearly 90% of the time in a year is considered healthy. China has completely banned the import of foreign garbage and achieved the goal of zero import of solid waste. Over the years, the country has seen more blue skies, clearer water, and cleaner soil. China has also become the largest electric car manufacturing hub globally, and the Chinese car manufacturer, BYD, is the world's #1 electric car producer. Germany, a country that boasts Mercedes, BMW, and Audi, is to import BYD electric cars, which was impossible and unbelievable before. Even Tesla benefits from China's manufacturing facility and talents. It is reported that Chinese technicians from Shanghai will go to the US to help Tesla America, which is still struggling nowadays. America's midterm election is over, and Chinese President Xi Jinping finally won his third term as the country's top leader. The tension between Beijing and Washington will ease down a little when US politicians no longer need to play the China card to attract the eyeballs of their voters. But in the long run, the US will continue to create problems for China until China surpasses America militarily, technically, and economically. At the end of the video, we apologize to viewers and supporters again for not uploading videos for 2 weeks. We must survive first. It is not easy to continue working without an income. We do not think YouTube will monetize our channel, so we may have to start a new channel and start from zero. We will first post videos on the new channel, and the current channel will become a place for trailers and shorts. The living costs are too high in Toronto, and we must work on other projects to make a living. Nonetheless, we will try our best to make 2 videos every week in the coming months, but our focus will be mainly on building the new channel. Great thanks to all our supporters, patrons, and viewers in the past 2 years. Without their generosity and kindness, DFTW cannot sustain itself for so long. DFTW is in a difficult situation now. If viewers want to help us, please scan the QR codes on the screen to support us on Patreon, PayPal, GoFundMe, or buy me a coffee.